Good afternoon, and welcome to the garden. Welcome to Garden Conversations with Rose on today, August the 3rd, 2024. I hope that you are remembering the significance of today's date. So it was only 4 years ago, on August the 3rd, 2020, when we came to you from this lovely space. At that time, the horrid scourge, that intruder that had gotten under our skirts, that intruder called COVID 19 had kept us bound. She had gotten under our skirts. She had exposed our heels and laid bare our insecurities, our fears, and the levels of anxiety had skyrocketed. Our mental and emotional wellness had gone to the dogs, and our peace of mind was totally crushed. So, with our poetry and the beautiful scenes and sights and sounds in this natural green space, we determined that we would bring you a measure of soothing, then called Whispers from the Garden of the Heart. We brought you some good nuggets to take you through COVID 19. Now, 4 years later, we are standing tall and we're proud because we're 4 years old. We are grateful that you have decided to remain in the garden, and we want to thank you for doing that. We want to urge you as well to remain here with us. Bring a friend, as we would have said originally. Sip on your drink, invite a friend over, stay in the garden, because our tagline, Expressions in the Shade, remains. Today, however, I want to offer tribute to a stalwart of a human, a good human, because in the garden we've always told you that it's important to take care of yourselves at all times, and of course to be good and kind to another human. So today there is a human that I wish to pay tribute to. That's my mother. She turned 97 on April 29, and we had a good celebration for her. We were hoping that she would bat it out to the 100 mark, but unfortunately, 12 days ago on July 22nd, she passed. And although we know that death is inevitable and it's a real part of life, we were totally unprepared. I myself felt badly. The pain still remains because as I looked at her the day before she passed, when my sister reminded her that I was away, she asked, when was I coming back? And I was saying, I'm looking forward to telling her how I had walked the land of her dad, how I stood near the step of the house that he had built in 1919 before she was born, how I sat on that tree stump of the mango tree that she remembered as a child, how I walked along the sands of the Tukari Bay in her community of cottage, how I sat in my home church among my siblings and family and church people, the place that she had raised us and had exercised the faith, had made a safe haven when at home. On many occasions it was turmoil because my dad had been an abuser, how her faith had kept us going, how her prayers had brought us through many difficult times. And when she had had enough, she determined that she would no longer be a victim. She stood as a strong woman, stood her ground against my dad, because she remembered that her children and herself had to be safe and free to be existing or living on this earth. My mom was a kind soul. I remember as a child sometimes as she sat up late to sew, there were times when the people who came for their clothing didn't always have all of the money, and she gave them the clothes anyway. She was kind. She herself had not much, but she gave from the little that she had. She always said to us, little is just as much. She prayed for us. She prayed with us. She reminded us about our faith in God. She always said, be kind and honest. She was a disciplinarian. She was big on the academics. We were always told, go get a book. So we were lovers of reading. She herself loved to read. She read novels. She read our school books too. She had a lovely handwriting. She took care of her grandchildren and her great grands and even her great great grands and children of many other individuals. She was a kind soul. She was well loved both in the community of Portsmouth in Dominica and also in Antigua. The many persons who came to know her found her to be a pleasant woman. She had a mouth, I can tell you this, and her words could be sharp and harsh and biting if you got on the nerves. But she was kind. My mom was a good soul. She was a good human. And her memory will always be a blessing and a treasure. So I'm reminding you as I take my leave, as you go off to party, for those of you in Antigua on this weekend who love to do your partying thing for these 2 holiday days, remember to keep your head on. Be a kind person. She reminded us to be kind and honest on her birthday. And she also said to put the Lord first. So I believe that we were kept safe because of the prayers of our mom. Because I saw her many times defy death. And I knew that the hand of God was on her. My mom took care of my children. She was with me for the birth of my children. She took care of them as infants. She was there. She was there for us. I am urging you to be kind and honest, to take care of yourself, because she took care of herself as well. Her nails always were done. She combed her hair. She believed in keeping ourselves clean. She did that. She took care of herself. She prayed, so her spiritual wellness was on point. My mom was a kind soul. So on behalf of her, I am urging you to remember kindness never goes out of style. And remember, there's a God. You have a maker as well. Have a blessed Saturday evening. And of course, a very good weekend. Remember to stay in the garden. We are always welcoming to you. We want to be with you for many more years.